Tonight on Nine News, breaking news. Police hunt an armed gunman just north of Brisbane. From buffets to barbecues and the beach, all the Christmas celebrations across the southeast. Homes evacuated as a fire emergency spreads over one of the country's most famous coastlines. Holiday tragedy, a man drowns while swimming with friends in Townsville. And perfect preparation for our cricketers ahead of the Boxing Day test. Armed police swoop on suburban streets searching for a gunman. Homes burn and hundreds more under threat as a fire emergency grips the Great Ocean Road. From beaches to barbecues and a special visit from Santa, how Queenslanders celebrated Christmas. The Prime Minister helping to spread the goodwill as worshippers flock to Brisbane churches. Plus, who's been axed for tomorrow's Boxing Day test.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. Heavily armed police have swarmed streets north of Brisbane hunting for a gunman after reports shots were fired inside a home. He is still on the run, leading officers on a search spanning 2 suburbs. Live to Alex Bernhard at Strathpine. Alex, have police managed to track him down?
Well, Sophie, at this stage, unfortunately, they haven't. After they did realise he wasn't at that Kalanga home, they have moved very quickly to this Strathpine street here. The dog squad moved in and they also cordoned off Learmouth Street here for quite some time.
Alex, thanks for the update. A fire emergency is unfolding on one of the country's most famous stretches of coastline. Homes have been destroyed and hundreds more are under threat at Lorne on the Great Ocean Road, with crews struggling to get the upper hand. Right across the state, Queenslanders have come together today to celebrate Christmas. From the unwrapping of gifts to barbecues and endless buffets, there was plenty of festive joy to go around. In the whirlwind of Santa, presents and family gatherings, the true meaning of Christmas can sometimes be overlooked. But for thousands, today was all about a tiny baby born 2,000 years ago and the message of hope at the heart of the celebration.
Midnight Mass on the cusp of Christmas. Thousands filling Brisbane cathedrals for an early blessing and an important reminder. For most churches, Christmas is the busiest day of the year, with services swelling well beyond their usual size as people come here to pause and reflect.
Now to Luke Bradnam for a check of the weather. Luke, is Boxing Day looking any better?
Yeah, sure is, Soph. It's going to be a great day down here on the Gold Coast. Tops around 30 degrees. Really light winds too, guys. So if you're coming down the beach, you're going to have really nice conditions. Good luck getting a car park, though. It's the busiest beach day of the year, Boxing Day. And if you've come across a bit of brown water, don't be concerned. It is a weed. We've got a lot of weed in the water at the moment in the day. All those details for you, Soph, later in the bulletin.
Thanks, Luke. See you then. Well, our federal political leaders spent time away from their families today to help others who often go without. Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull took to the streets in Sydney to spread some Christmas cheer. Ahead in the news, how strangers helped save Christmas for a family whose home was destroyed by fire. More than a dozen injured as a bus slams into a charity office. Thousands file through airports around the country for heartwarming Christmas reunions. And facing the threat of severe storms, Sydney to Hobart contenders get ready to race.
Merry Christmas, everybody. A big hello to everybody back in Australia. We're serving on board HMAS Melbourne in the Middle East region. I hope Santa found you, and Merry Christmas.
A shock for 2 Canadian tourists when their car burst into flames as they were driving through Sydney this afternoon. They noticed smoke coming from the bonnet and pulled over. Seconds later, the car exploded, their passports inside. The Queen has used her annual Christmas broadcast to talk about the moments of darkness faced by so many across the world and how the light will always shine through. Her Majesty also reflected on a busy year for the royal family, with the proud great-grandmother talking about 2015's welcome new addition. Well, 'tis the season for giving, which also means it's the season for buying, and companies are keen to get their hands on your Christmas cash. December advertising has become somewhat of a sport in the UK, with brands splashing out millions on campaigns resembling Hollywood blockbusters. Still to come, building a real Christmas city, we head to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. The pub soccer match that turned into a battle royale. And the Queensland appeal to help returning soldiers get back on their feet.
And beautiful conditions down here at Surfers Paradise at the moment. Better conditions heading our way tomorrow, but not the case for Melbourne, unfortunately. A lot of rain, not good for the cricket. All those details coming up soon.
I want to give a big Merry Christmas to my mum, my dad and my sister. Thanks for all the gifts you've been sending and keeping in contact while I'm away. I also want to give a big shout out to Taylor Swift. Thanks for your music, I love it and it's got me through this trip. Merry Swiftmas, Australia.
Yes, everyone loves a little Tay-Tay. If you think Queensland celebrates December 25th in style, take a stroll down the streets of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania that is. Boasting its very own Christmas city, it's attracted millions of visitors with its endless festive fun. Well, soldiers often encounter a tough battle once they return from war, but one Queensland charity has come up with a way to help them through the difficult transition. That story is coming up a little later in the bulletin. Tom's here now, though, with sport.
Thanks, Soph. Coming up, test selectors wield the axe ahead of Boxing Day as the Aussies teach the next generation some new skills. Plus, the Heat not ready to wave goodbye to their Big Bash campaign just yet. Some Christmas cheer from Santa, but what will the weather bring for the Sydney to Hobart fleet? And Jared Haynes hopes of playing again for the 49ers this season. Test selectors have axed Shaun Marsh, leaving the 32-year-old out of the lineup for tomorrow's Boxing Day test despite his big score in Hobart. He's been replaced by Usman Khawaja, with fellow Queensland Bulls batsman Joe Burns given another chance. The crews of the 108 yachts competing in this year's Sydney to Hobart will have their final weather briefing tomorrow morning. It's expected to be one of the closest races in years, but today the international crews took some time out to celebrate a true Aussie Christmas. There you go. So, but a big Merry Christmas to you. I'm off to Mum and Dad's again. Hopefully there's some turkey left over for dinner.
Thanks, Tom. Make sure you save me some.
Oh, you're pushing your luck.
Up next, the Queensland charity lending a hand to struggling soldiers. And Luke has the weather. Lukey, it's looking pretty good down there on the coast.
Not wrong, so the day just got better and better as it wore on, culminating with this beautiful full moon that's just poked its head out, and tomorrow looks like it's going to be an absolute cracker as well. We'll be back with all the details next.
The Sydney to Hobart Yacht Race. We speak to the skippers and take you inside the living quarters. Plus how you can bag a bargain this Boxing Day. Tomorrow on Weekend Today.
This weather report brought to you by Mortein Kill and Protect Control Bomb. Protect your home from all roaches, not just the ones you see.
One of the biggest challenges a soldier can face is life after combat, and in some cases the adjustment leads to homelessness and addiction. A Queensland charity is searching for help to fund a respite centre to make things a little easier.
Sean Power, 9 News.
Let's check in with Luke now, and a warming Boxing Day on the way.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day, Soph. Better than today. The temps are going to be a little bit warmer and a bit drier as well. Nice conditions down the beach with just light winds predicted for tomorrow. Today, not a lot of rain around despite the overcast conditions, but the clouds help keep temps a little lower than what we expected. Here on the Gold Coast, we got to 27 degrees. Brisbane got to 28, so did Ipswich. And up on the sunny coast, they maxed out at 29 degrees. On the map, we're keeping our eye on this monsoonal trough that's producing some very heavy rain into the north of the country. Now, it's over the NT at the moment, but if it tracks into the Gulf of Carpentaria, it could develop into a cyclone, and if it does, it's going to be known as Cyclone Stan. We've also got another trough that today filtered some really hot wind into the south of the country. Hobart and Adelaide both had their hottest Christmas days in 70 years, but a different story tomorrow. Cool change on the way. Adelaide today hit 38, but tomorrow just 23 degrees. Melbourne 35 today, but for the Boxing Day test tomorrow, not what we want to see. A 90% chance of rain and a top of just 20 degrees. It might be the Windies' only hope, I think. Sydney should have a fine weather, or fine start to the day for the Sydney to Hobart, but they will have rain in the afternoon, and they've got a northeasterly wind too, so that will be right behind the yachts. That will be just what they want, and more rain expected for Darwin. Now for us, it's going to be a wet day for the north of the state. Temps up around 30 degrees, and Merry Christmas to me old man up there in Mission Beach at the moment. Hope you had a good one. Further south, and we're going to have a shower or two for Rocky and Gladstone. Maybe a little bit of rain for for you in Bundaberg and Maryborough as well, and temps in the low 30s. And here in the southeast, a warmer day on the way, just a possible shower for most areas, most likely in the late afternoon, though it won't spoil your plans. It's only going to be very light. The sunny coast will get to 30, Redcliffe a little bit cooler, 29, Ipswich 31, and here on the Gold Coast, a bit of cloud about and 30 on the bay tomorrow. The earlier you go, the better it will be. And for the city tomorrow, just a 30% chance of rain, a top of 30 degrees. And having a look at the week ahead, it's pretty much more of the same. Rain expected for most days, and a southerly change heading our way on Sunday, which should be pretty good news for the board riders. It wasn't the best day down there today on the beach. Tomorrow will be better. Let's have a look. Well, we woke to windy conditions early on the open beaches, so you had to head down to the points, and if you did, you can find some small fun ones like this around. The swell wasn't big, but still worth making the effort of getting down there. Still some good ones like this around. Nice wave, mate. Now, for Boxing Day, we can expect pretty much the same. Expecting only light winds again early, though, so we might get a wave on the open beaches. There's going to be no increase in the swell, unfortunately, but still going to be well worth getting down to the beach and testing out the new board if Santa bought you one. And if you're heading down here just for a dip with the family, the water is a little bit dirty, got a lot of weed in it at the moment, but other than that, great conditions, and that water temp up around 23 degrees, so it's absolutely beautiful. Boaties, tomorrow is the day. Good conditions and a bit of action around as well. There's spotty mackerel on big time at Palm Beach Reef at the moment. Moreton Bay Charters found a couple of nice ones in the bay as well. The young fellow scoring a good one here. Good on you, mate. And young Harry got himself a good brim as well. Great stuff. There you go, Sophie. Merry Christmas to everybody from Surfers Paradise. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. See you tomorrow night.
Beautiful. Thanks, Luke. And that's our news tonight. You can keep up to date on our website, ninenews.com.au. Merry Christmas. Good night.